Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love is Blind Season 4, Episode 8, Chris. Now, before we get into the episode, we've been on hiatus for a week. I have kind of enjoyed a little bit of a break, to be honest.
For me, yeah, no.
It's been just podcasting in general. But how was your holiday, mate?
Well, Dave, well. So we went to Kos in Greece, beautiful city. It was a lovely, lovely place on the beach and everything. It was so nice. And we'd booked this holiday in January. So it was a easy jet, and it was we got 150 quid off, and we always do all inclusive. And it's like, this is too good to be true. We're going away later on the year, but B&B, which is costing us more. There's a reason for the cost difference, David. A reason. Now, it was a 4-star hotel, allegedly, and a 4-star on TripAdvisor. That's the minimum requirements when I do all the searching for the holidays and stuff when we go away. And I give Sam a shortlist, and she does the same. And we usually meet in the middle and go, right. And if we've got the same ones, we start going through them. But we've done this for years. We always do. I think everyone out there probably does. And not every hotel is thingy and all this stuff. So the flight from Manchester was so good. We've had so many bad experiences the last few times. We straight out got through custom. It was great. We were there on time, everything. I couldn't believe it. And we got a private transfer, pulled up at the airport, and it was 60 quid through EasyJet for a private transfer. Dave, this 12-seater Kardashian minibus turned up. I'm not exaggerating. It had tinted windows, black alloys. He opens the side. It's got a leather table. You know, like you used to have in the A-team, but like where they would sit around like a dining table. Four of them facing it, like on a train. When you go in first class, leather seats. He went, we've got Wi-Fi, we've got wipes. He went, would you like a drink? I'm like, holy shit. It was honestly.
Did you say they've got wipes?
Wipes to wipe your face and everything. Yeah, not to wipe your ass, Dave. Wipe your face and stuff. So, I know after a flight sometimes you need them, but no, she would give us He went, I've got Wi-Fi, I've got drinks, and there was 3 of us in this fucking massive bus. I was like, this is the life. We're like rock stars, the tinted windows and everything. I was like, this is not, or this is unheard of for us. Gets to the hotel, it was great. And this hotel's just opened, like, we got there on the Saturday, it was the Monday before, and it's a two-story buildings, but it's a massive complex up at hills and all this stuff. So we had to get a golf cart up to the room and all this. Honestly, at first impressions, we were like, fucking hell, this is going to be great. However, we pull up at the room. The front door is like a double glazing door. At some point, someone's had a crowbar on it, tried to force the door. So where the door and the lock is, Dave, it's bent like a banana. You could put your hand in and probably knock the thing back. So I'm thinking, well, that's not a good start. Sam starts brushing her teeth, right? It's a double sink. So obviously we have only got a single sink, a double sink. She's brushing her teeth and she's like, what's that fucking water hitting my fucking... My toes. Yeah, it was the toothpaste, Dave, in the water, because the sink didn't have a waste pipe attached to it. So this is all over the floor, right? So I was like, what the fuck? Then we look, there's no safe deposit box, right? So I'm like, well, what are we going to do? So for the whole 7 days, we had no safe deposit box, which on the last day, they then said to me, have you got your key for your safe deposit box? And I've been in 4 out of those first 4 days. I kept going in and I'm like, are you taking the piss? You know what I mean? Like, I've fucking been coming in for 4 days and it was the same woman. The manager was like a female version of Basil Fawlty, Dave. You came in and she made some shit. They had no hot water for the first 2 days in the shower. I got the manager and I literally frog marched up to the room. We got in the little golf buggy. So we come up to the room. She went, just shut your door. I said, the cleaner can't clean. She's not got a key. Can we have your key? I went, no, you can't. So we had a key. We had a key for the bedroom where all the valuables, I had to have all my passports on me, all the money and that. And all the valuables that come with us, like electrical stuff, was hidden in a fucking stool. And we had a key for our bedroom. So she couldn't clean the bedroom when she finally come in. So the manager goes, we couldn't clean your bedroom. I went, because I've got no safe deposit box. And this wasn't me. This was across everyone. And what I think they'd done is they'd opened the hotel and then started doing all the maintenance work. Not the 4 or 5 months winter lockdown when you would think, right, we've got a list as long as our arms. And this cold water thing was on last October's TripAdvisor reviews, but the word everyone said all week was, we're like the guinea pigs. And as the week went on, it got better, but the damage was done. And we've got to say, some of the worst food I have ever had in all. And I do all inclusive. You know, I do. I've done them for like 15 years. There was no labels on anything. People with allergies. I went to the manager, this woman, and said, can I have a word with you privately? I said, you need to put labels on stuff because people could be vegetarian, vegan, they could have nut, fish allergies. You need to do that. And there was no, I mean, it's typical English. There's no chips on Dave, no pizza, no nugget. I know we're in Greece. And
no
it's like,
full English breakfast.
There was no full English breakfast. The only thing good about it was the breakfast, even though it was all cold. It was all cold as well. There was no heating lamps. So everyone was saying the same thing. And all they had was an A4 pad and they were writing stuff down. And there was a girl on reception who was like a robot. She was from Europe somewhere. She could speak English, but she couldn't understand what you were saying. So if you went to, I'm not saying we don't speak a lot of other language. You know, I can speak a little bit of Spanish, but we're, as a nation, most of us are ignorant and can't speak two languages, can we? So we expect them to speak English. I know it's one of the biggest languages, but I try and learn a little bit of something because I always feel bad that I don't know anything. This girl goes to go, we're in room 363. Have you got the safe deposit box? And she just go, oh, have a nice day then. Oh, great. And I'd be like, are you fucking for real? And it was like, have you sorted out the tap? Right. Okay. And then she starts rewriting down and I'm having to spell the stuff. This went on every day. And I'm like, I don't want to speak to you in the end. I said, I can't. But so we got all this, there was a couple of things we got sorted, a couple of we didn't. But what topped it off was, I was getting to one of my stories, so we'd had this has all happened in the space of 5 hours of us being there. So we got there like 3 in the afternoon and by 4 in the afternoon and by 9 o'clock, we'd had our fill. Sam's like, I want to go fucking another hotel. This is just a joke. It was like a comedy of errors, honestly. Everyone was saying the same thing, like the food, I've been here a few days, it's terrible, I've got no hot water. Then other people were saying they were getting scolded because they were getting all the hot water. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? So I get to the bar and obviously you can order your drinks and the drinks are watered down. So the 2 guys behind the bar were from Albania, but they couldn't speak English, but they were so miserable and horrible. They were just, everyone was saying like, what is up with them? No one had uniforms on. They were just dressed normally. She didn't know who was staff. The trainers, it was like, what is going on here? Gets to the bar. And this guy, right, all he was interested in was just smiling at like the girls and all this, and he would never serve the bloke. So I just said to him, can I have 2 pina coladas? He couldn't go wrong because the pina colada was in a ready-made box behind like a bloody cardboard thing. He just undid the tap. 2 pina coladas, right? So he goes, hey, and the other guy was translating for him who spoke a bit of English. So he's telling him 2 pina. So he goes, okay. So I said, can I have a vodka and orange for Jordan? I was like, can I have a vodka and orange? So he gives me a fucking orange cordial. I went, no. And he just turned his back and just walked off. So there's a massive queue of about 10, 15 people behind me. So the other guy, I said to him, he said, what? He went, what's up? Like dead arsey. I went, can you put some vodka in that, please? I said, there's only orange in it. I was dead nice to him. I wasn't being a dick. I said, can you just put some orange in it? A guy next to me who's next in line, bald-headed guy, looks a bit of a rocker, but he's from South Africa. And he says to the guy, smiling and that, he'd only been at the hotel a couple of hours. He went, yeah, mate. And I'm not going to do a South African accent, Dave, because I tried this week when I was telling this story, but it never worked. He just turned around and he went, yes, mate. He wants the good stuff in there. You know, the alcohol, Dave, you would understand that, don't you? Put the good stuff in, my friend, he said. Oh, no, the bloke started nearly having a fight with me and this guy across the bar. He went, you, and he wouldn't even look at me. He was pointing at me. But, you know, when someone's pointing at you, talking about you, but won't look at you. And I'm like, oh, my God, we're going to have a fight. And he's going, you come to this hotel. You don't like the staff. Get out. And he's having a proper go at the bar. So the queue's there, everyone's watching, and I'm going, whoa. I said, he said stuff. He thought we'd said staff. He went, you and your friend talk about the staff. You don't like it, go somewhere else. And I'm like, and it got so much that my back got up then, and I was like, you know, this pina colada, this is going right in your face, because either that or we're going to end up having a fight. So me and the guy's going, what? The South African's going, whoa, no, stuff, he wants vodka, get out. And he goes, oh, Dave, honestly, I was like, oh my God, it was Basil Fawlty. It's like Fawlty's house. I was like, we've been here, I've nearly got in a fight. And it's because he didn't understand English. And he said, stuff. And he thought he said staff. So then the DJ was Romanian. He's next to us, and like the entertainment guy, lovely bloke. He goes, "What's happened, my friend?" I said, the other guy didn't put vodka in and just walked off. I said, "He got bad manners, I'll give him that." I said, "But he said put the stuff in, the alcohol, and he thinks he's not his staff." So to be fair, he went to the manager. But this guy, Dave, would serve me every day and wouldn't even speak to me, wouldn't even look at me. I go, "Hi, please can I have 2 pina coladas and a vodka orange, or can I have a sex on the beach?" And he just fucking slammed him down on me the whole week. He was like that. I was like, oh my God, it was just bizarre. So so the holiday,
sticking his knob in it.
Yeah, probably, yeah, his pubes and that. I'll get that bastard back. Yeah. Oh, it was just bizarre. It was bizarre, and everyone was saying like, "I've had so many run-ins with the barman," and it's like, how can you work in a customer-facing job and be so fucking miserable? But in the end, it ended up being funny. Because it had gone from, the anger and the thingy of and I was then trying to be too nice to him, like, you don't deserve me to be kind to you. But honestly, it was a classic, Dave. And this carried on all week, these comedy of errors at the hotel and that. And then one day they started replacing all the sunbed furniture and that. Mm-hmm. While we were sat there, Dave, sunbathing, because the weather was nice, oh yeah, just come over, start taking our fucking sun cream and drinks off, and the fucking parasol comes up, and they're like whacking us both, me and Sam, and I'm like, what's, and they're just going around, these two old blokes, just doing it to everyone. Fucking people were kicking off going, what the hell are you doing? Why don't you do this in the morning or at night when everyone's gone? It was, by the end of the week, the hotel, I think next week, everyone will have a great time at that hotel, but we seem to be the ones who just they opened it and went, oh, fuck it, we'll just blag this for a week. So, yeah, unbelievable.
When you regret asking a question sometimes?
This is the Chris Phelps Travel. This is my YouTube channel. This is all about my YouTube
Fucking
channel.
Hell, it sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. It was. I can only laugh about it now, but fuck me.
I mean, usually, there's a Phelps freebie in there somewhere.
Let's get it right, Dave. I am being compensated by EasyJet after all this. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, there is a Phelps freebie in there. Definitely. There is now, but
complaint.
Fuck me, honestly. Well, the thing was, though, and then you went on TripAdvisor, so I do TripAdvisor reviews, and I'm always dead measured. I'm never a dick, 'cause I understand these jobs can be horrible. Normal people staying in hotels can just be absolute wankers, can't they? And just be horrible over nothing. And I know that growing up, my mum and dad travel agents, so I know the complaints they would get were just ridiculous. So I tried to be measured, but these are getting everything, Dave. And then you went on TripAdvisor, and obviously the manager's gone on there. She took off 8 of the bad reviews from last October when it was shutting down, when apparently it was like an absolute disaster, to these generic ones have gone on there from fucking, there's one called Katrina, and it's a generic Google picture you can find, and she's like walking along the beach somewhere with like a fucking bag over her shoulder. She's put Katrina was the greatest person there. There's no one called Katrina worked there, Dave, as far as I know. But she's reviewed herself 5 out of 5. You can tell it's done on Google Translate. There's about 5 reviews. Great staff, great food, couldn't do enough for you. And everyone's fucking reading them at the hotel going, he's bought the dead fake, honestly. So no wonder he's got 4 out of 4 on TripAdvisor. I think the fucking hotel writes them.
I'd have thought that there would have been a way to stop that. Surely you can't just fucking rate yourself. No. The whole system breaks.
Yeah. Well, you can create an email, couldn't you? A Gmail.
Oh, yeah. But if someone gives you a bad review, surely you can't just say, yeah, I don't like that one.
No. Well, yeah, it's weird. It's really strange. I didn't know whether they could vet them, but they lost 8 reviews. They went to 780 from 788 before we went, and then it was 784, and the 4 reviews were 5 out of 5. But what topped it all off, actually, we did have some guests above us, Dave. It was a 2 up and down, massive rooms, to be fair. We had a balcony that could have about 30 people on it. I was doing yoga on it every day. It was great. We did have some young Irish students, Dave, who were training to be doctors and nurses, and decided at 2:00 every morning they were going to have a full-on fucking party right above our head, Dave. So that really helped on the first night. Really did. I had to go out, and then a couple of nights, some of the other people went out, and then they stopped for 3 days, and then on our last day, yesterday, they decided at 4:00 in the morning to carry it on, Dave, and I was really happy about that situation. So that topped off the whole week for us, really. But it sounds so negative, but in the end, it was like people who were going through it, everyone sort of like having chats and laughing about it, because it was just unbelievable. I felt sorry for people. If you only have one holiday a year, and I'm privileged that we can go away a couple of times a year, we're lucky. I felt so sorry for, people with families and that, because they would have saved up for that. And it was a pile of shit for at least 3 of them 7 days. But always good for a story, Dave. We spent 15 minutes talking. I've got it off my chest now. I feel good to talk about Love is Blind, but there you go.
It sounds fucking shit. I'll be fucking pissed if I take the kids away and end up with that.
I know, sorry.
Shit all, but...
Yeah, don't go to the Aegean View Aqua Resort in Cos, Dave. That's all I'll say to you. Don't fucking do it. Anyone listening, don't do it. But anyway, sorry, I've railroaded the podcast, but I had to speak to you and get it off my chest, Dave.
Nice. Well, we should probably get on to the episode.
I bet you're glad to now. You're like, fucking hell, Chris. On a downer.
Read the roll call of honour.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, we watched Love is Blind episode 8. But I mean, Chris, getting into the episode, it left us with a little bit of a cliffhanger, hadn't it, on episode 8. So Zach was proposing to Bliss, and, it left us hanging there. But basically, she says yes, and she says, oh, she always knew he was her person, from the first time speaking in the pods. And honestly, I was just sat at home watching it going, oh, fuck off. Bliss, I was rooting for you. I was saying that you seemed authentic. You weren't buying into this whole show bollocks. But no, I think I was wrong there.
We both were. There's something off about Zach, though, Dave, isn't there? But Bliss, she seems such a lovely girl, and it's like, oh, don't do it for the show. And she has it. She should never be anybody's second, Dave. Second best. She shouldn't. She deserved more. Irina, obviously, was a disaster, and I can't wait to talk about it a bit later with Micah, Dave. Micah. We'll talk about that. But he should never have picked Irina anyway. But once he's done that, Bliss, I know it's a show. She should have just said, you know what, mate, fuck you. I don't care. But she seems accepting, but I don't like Zach's delivery. The way he says it to her, it's like she should be happy that he's decided to give her a second chance. I just think he is not right for her, and she's so silly if she's still with him, because I think he's a right fucking bellend, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I think the half-life of this couple is pretty short, to be honest. I can't see it going anywhere, because he's just got this weird communication style. And we were saying this when he was with Irina, that, she was the bigger bellend out of the couple, but he's a bit of a bellend as well. And what I didn't like is when Bliss was talking about being second best, and he was saying, well, objectively, you're not, because you're here. And it's like, but that's because you invited her because it didn't work out with Irina, so she's right. Rather than try and reassure her, rather than say, look, I made a mistake, it's like he's getting arsey straight away, and he's got no right to be arsey about it. So, I just don't see anything with this couple. I guess I'm just disappointed, because you want to believe that we're seeing the nucleus of the people who are on this thing, and some of it is authentic, whereas so much of it is just, it's over the top fake, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And talking about fake, Dave, Micah and Paul. What about Micah, Dave? I mean, our parents seem really nice people, to be honest, don't they? They just seem like normal people, but I don't like her at all. I think she's a hypocrite. She really, the way she talks later on about Irina is like, you were happy and you will still be happy if Kwame shows you at least half a turn of a shoulder there that he might be interested properly. She will be off on Paul. But I thought everything about it is fucking fake, and I just do not like that girl at all.
No, it's so false, isn't it? I mean, there were two major scenes, I guess, in this episode. You had, meeting Micah's parents, and then you had meeting Micah's friends.
Oh, fucking hell.
And in particular, as soon as a mum and dad come down, it's as if someone had beamed them down, and they didn't understand they were on a show, because they came across in a very authentic way. The mother was very standoffish. She's like, the fuck's going on? The dad's like, hey, his name's Paul. He's great, isn't he? My name's Paul. We've got a connection. And the mum's like, oh, well, yeah. Says something negative. He's like, oh, yeah. Oh, it was about I just don't want her to get heartbroken. And Dad's like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
I've got a friend, finally. I've got a fucking male friend. But yes, that's a good spot, that. That's a good spot.
But, Micah came across just so full of shit. It's like, oh, yeah, and we're getting engaged and whatever. And it's just like the parents were not buying it at all. But it made the contrast of their real kind of reactions to Micah. And Paul's just sort of sat there. And he seems to be getting nerdier by the episode. He seems to be evolving into some extra from Big Bang Theory or something. But, so he wasn't saying much. And I do think Micah came across, in a very false way in that interaction with the parents. But Chris, what did you reckon to Micah's friends?
Fucking horrible, Dave. Horrible. Yeah. Like both of them I didn't like because I thought poor Paul got absolutely torn to pieces. Look, I don't believe there's anything between these two. It's purely for the show, but he didn't deserve that. And especially a blonde friend. I don't know whether she's got a thing for Micah, to be honest, because the stuff she was saying, it's like, is Micah is she the leader of the group? They were like bigging her up as if they were in the cult of Micah. It was
You're Micah.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about? And her blonde mate is horrible. Yeah. Absolutely horrible. I just thought, what a horrible person together. I mean, Micah's already shown this of Irina, like the Mean Girls thing. And I don't think it goes further from her friends as well. They seem, the three of them, like a very toxic triangle of friends. And I bet they all slag each other off, Dave. I bet they're all falling out with each other. And Paul didn't deserve that, and she didn't step in and help him or anything. And that, I mean, the blonde girl started fucking crying. I was like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, just no, big red flags for me, Dave. And Paul needs to get the fuck out of Dodge because they are just not right for each other. And what a horrible support system! It felt a bit like, do you remember on Maths? Who was the friends who absolutely they were horrible to the guy?
Was it Morag?
Morag, her friends, and that guy wanted, and and he had low self-esteem, and they were just horrible to him, weren't they? It was just so. Yeah, for me, I thought it was a pretty good episode for a bit of drama for me to talk about. But what despicable people! I thought.
Yeah, but I think it is good as well, isn't it? Because, like you say, we've not really warmed to Micah at all. She comes across incredibly false, very much in the Mean Girls camp. But seeing her in a natural habitat, if you like, with her friends, and you realise, oh yeah, friends are dicks as well. Yeah, all makes sense now. But I did, to be honest, I was siding with Paul in that interaction because, like I say, the blonde friend, the brunette friend, she seemed not quite as bad. She didn't seem on the offensive. She seemed a bit more neutral. Whereas the blonde friend was just saying some horrible shit. And he was like, yeah, can't say I care. I was thinking, yeah, I think that'd be me. But then she's like twisting his words. She's like, well, so you don't care then? I was just thinking, oh, fuck off, Paul. Just storm off. Just fucking leave it. It doesn't matter. It's just a nonsense argument. I think the whole crying thing, I think it was possibly the alcohol, which, God bless this show, plying them with alcohol.
Perfect. Yeah, it's not Love Island.
We don't want adult, sensible conversations and good issue resolution. We want fucking drama. So, yeah.
That's a good point, that. Yeah, that's very good, actually. Oh, I've missed you, mate. I've missed you this week. I'm going to laugh. That's true, that. You know what, though, David? Now, the next couple, right? I don't know how we tackle this, but Jacqueline, I said it before. There's some issues going on there, and the Love Is Blind executives really should be held accountable here because the stuff she's saying to Marshall and her dialogue and what she wants him to do to her and everything, Dave, fucking, it's not right. Why didn't somebody step in? She said she wanted him
to see you next Tuesday. I mean, just fucking.
It's terrible. I mean, for a TV show, I'm thinking of Marshall, but for a TV, she's saying like he wants him to be more aggressive and rough, and I'm like, what? And then she's like, we don't have sex. I'm like, Dave, help me out here because I really don't know what to say on this. It was really worrying for her, I think, more than anything.
I think it's fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Royally, she's saying about he needs to be a bit more aggressive. Now, again, I don't know. Is she talking about she wants to be slapped around a bit?
That's what I thought. That's how I interpret it. And I didn't want to say that because it's such a bad thing. I thought that's what she meant. And I was like, that's a no from me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fucking bizarre. And you just think, that's a massive fucking red flag that you have been in some very toxic fucking relationships. And that is just normal for you. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't bode well. I mean, I kind of feel like with Marshall, I feel like there is a front there. Like I say, I think, there's a bit of a fake nice guy thing going on there that we saw in the pods. He snaps if it doesn't go his own way. But in this scenario, in this episode, I can't say he did that much wrong. He just seemed to be on the receiving end of most things. And yeah, you can tell it's not going very well for them. They seem to spend time apart, but he's still giving her his coat and stuff, even though she doesn't want it. And she seems to blow very much hot and cold. But in that fucking meetup, where they're all having dinner. Again, producer manipulation. Fucking, you got all these people in the pods. Let's bring Josh back to really fuck with things. I mean, everyone knows, in the production team that Marshall and Jacqueline are having problems. Ring, ring. Let's get Josh. You're free next Friday night.
With Josh, it felt like he'd had a bit of an MO to come in because I didn't like the vibe he was giving off. I thought he was
horrible, wasn't it?
His dialogue to the girls wasn't right. I was like, Jacqueline fell for it. She was like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, and I agree with you. I do think with Marshall, we've got a bit of a Richie from Maths here, Dave. I think basically he likes camera action. He plays up to the camera, to be overly nice. No one's like that in real life. None of us are. We always try and be better as we get older, but we're not. We all have bad days. We all have moments where you're like, as in when you're ordering a drink and some guy starts having a go at you, Dave, on your holiday day, we all have them moments. You know what I mean? I'm quite a measured, chill person, but you still have your point. And Josh's whole thing, the way he went, it was like he was on a speed dating thing and he had to basically get his pitch in quick. So he was like, oh shit, they're going to get rid of me again. But again, I agree. Great bit of fucking casting just to throw him in the mix because he literally came in and just caused chaos. But it's not the end of him, is it? No. I think it's there. But then Josh basically had an open goal and then carried on talking. And I think it sort of put Jacqueline off towards the end, Dave. There was a bit there where she loved the flirty bits when they were all together. But when he got talking to her, I think she was a bit like, oh, I'm not sure whether this is the right guy either. But that's going to, whether it, I know people have watched this and they're listening to us, but whether that carries on, it was definitely something I'm like, I can't wait to speak to Dave about it.
I don't know. It seemed to be going the way that she's falling for it more so than she's questioning it.
Yes.
I think, and I just don't see how, because I think he'd had a fucking bottle of whiskey or something before they started shooting because he seemed hammered. He seemed more drunk than everyone else. And, everyone else is like, why is that fucking dick here? And he's with Marshall at the bar, isn't he? And he's like, when you have
weird.
too much,
that was weird.
Like, I fucking love you, bro.
Hugging him on it. It's like he wanted him a fight. I saw he's going to have an arm wrestle. Come on, let's have an arm wrestle for Jacqueline. It was weird, wasn't it? Yeah, that was uncomfortable to watch, Dave. I agree.
But you've had those types of conversations, don't you? And I don't know if women have the same types of conversations, but that is on a knife edge. That conversation there.
Yes.
On the surface, it looks like it's all. You could interpret it that like, he's being really magnanimous there. He's sort of saying how he loves him and stuff, but because he's that hammered and stuff, that one wrong word or sentence and it flips the other way and it gets into a fight.
Yeah. 100%. I thought he was on the verge of that. I think Marshall, if they had been in a bar and it wasn't a TV show, then I think Josh and him probably would have been scrapping because it went from being a little bit awkward to being like, oh my God, where is the fucking pillow to put over my face? Because I was like, Josh, just stop, mate. Just stop. And it was weird, wasn't it? Because then you see Marshall look to the camera and look around as if to say, what the fuck was that? But then Josh is talking to Jacqueline and like I just don't know. I don't know what was going on there. He was just being a dick. But look, perfect for what we need. And one of the other things, Dave, as well, just very quickly, was I think it's interesting, this thing, I'm just slightly going off about Irina, that Michael's talking to Bliss about, that basically Michael's the only friend she had, and she alienated herself from all the girls. I didn't really see that in the pods. They've obviously not edited that in. They've took it out because that dialogue was strange, and Mike is a hypocrite anyway. I know there's a few bits, the mean girls that we talked about, but it was like, she said, all the girls didn't speak to her, and I was like, I mean, unless it's just me forgetting, I don't know.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because they've got 10 days of filming to do. I don't know. I felt like Micah and Irina were kind of carved off from the group. And I think probably it was more towards the end. I mean, in the first couple of days, probably everyone's playing nice, aren't they? Being nice. And then the next few days, you're figuring out, this Irina's a bit of a C next Tuesday, isn't she? And then it's probably only like the last few days, 2 or 3 days, where they're just like, yeah, you know what, I'm not bothering with you at all. You're just a horrible person. So I kind of feel like there's a bit of recency bias. They're probably thinking more of the last few days.
Yeah, probably. I mean, again, though, Micah was talking to Kwame. I know we'll talk about Kwame in Chelsea, but she's just been slating Irina for doing what she's doing. She's still going back to Kwame, and she questions. Basically, the dialogue was, "Have you picked the right person?" He hasn't picked the right person. Let's be honest, and we'll talk about that. But it's like you can't. Well, you can because it's a reality show. We need these characters, but it's like you can't 1 minute be saying Irina's doing wrong when you're doing the same, and you're still doing it. So yeah, sorry. Anyway, Dave. So Kwame in Chelsea.
It's the beautiful hypocrisy of it.
It's great. I know
it's just. It's what we've said for a while now. It's like, we'll vilify the actions, of someone else doing something, and I will do exactly the same thing. But that is different when I do it.
That's a Love Island special, isn't it? Oh, maths. Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. That you're so right. But anyway, Dave, sorry. Kwame and Chelsea, come on, hit me with this.
I think I'm still consistent with this one. I've been saying for a while, Chelsea is someone with a plan, and that plan is basically babies, and Kwame is a sperm donor.
Yeah.
And I think it's just getting more and more uncomfortable because she's coming across like she's just shooting down whatever he says and doesn't really take into account what he says or what he thinks. The whole we saw in the last episode, well, Kwame can work remotely, so it makes sense that he moves close to my place. I can't move anywhere. But she's just dismissing anything, any concerns that he has. And the trouble is, I mean, I can't remember exactly what her age was. Was it 31, 32 or something like that? There is a clock here, so there's a time-sensitive factor, whereas Kwame doesn't have that. He can take his time and whatever. But they are on such different pages. She is ready to fucking get married, start thinking about babies straight away. And he's just not. He wants to slow things down, and so it's starting to get really uncomfortable how far apart they actually are.
Yeah, and that's a great analysis. I think that's the problem. I mean, Kwame's an ex-pro footballer. He still plays football only 4 times a week. He lives 2 hours away from her. And as we've said, you're right. She's not going to compromise on where she works because he works remotely and all that. But he's going to be miserable if he moved up there and he can't play football or soccer, whatever. That's going to stump him. And I think he needs to, instead of just going with it for the show, which is what it feels like, and it felt like that for a few episodes, I'm hoping that at some point, and there's nothing wrong with what Chelsea wants at all, even though I think she's very intense, but I think he's just got to have a word with himself and go, this isn't for me. I think when I do the where are they now bit, I'd be fucking amazed if these two are still together. I'd be absolutely amazed because he's going to go through, if they're still together as a couple at the moment, he's going to go through life doing exactly what she wants. And because he just seems like a cool guy, doesn't he? He's always smiling. I said he's got that nervous laugh about him, which he was doing a lot when she was saying all this stuff to him. And I'm like, Kwame, please speak up, mate. So whether he's different off camera, I don't know. But he comes across as a really good guy. And it seems to be that it's her way or the highway. And that's not any way to build a relationship for me at all.
Yeah. And I think it is fine for what she, the goals that she has. But I don't know. I don't think they ever really had that deep conversation in the pods or even after, about the whole timeline. And that's why it's uncomfortable watching, because when he's trying to raise things, like he's saying about, I just want to enjoy the marriage first. She's dismissing him, like putting him down, or not putting him down, but saying like, oh, well, in the first few years with the babies, you just kind of stick them in your little pouch at the front. They hardly do anything. And it's like, no, that is not fucking right. She's trying to say, oh, but you'd hardly even know they're there. And it's like, it's making it so obvious that it's less about Kwame and it's more about the baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, I agree.
I agree. I think it'll be a surprise and it'll be a major compromise. And actually, one of the things that Kwame said to Michael was, he's someone who feels like they compromise a lot, and he's trying to not do that. I don't know, maybe for the show, because otherwise he would just fucking leg it. But yeah, I'm in agreement. I just don't see a future for these two. They're too far apart. Chelsea needs someone who is ready to settle down and have babies right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I think that's that's in a whole memo things. You probably got to put on a fridge and everything. So yeah, interesting. But Dave, just before we go, now we're going into silly season, aren't we? Of TV now. We know what's on the horizon. We don't want to talk about that show. But I was watching Gogglebox, right? And we were catching up on Gogglebox the last, day or so. And there's a show come on my radar, Dave, that's on BBC. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to cover it, but it's called I Kissed the Boy. It's the first UK gay dating show, Dave. Danny Minogue hosts it. And just from the snippets I got off Gogglebox, I sat with Sam and went, oh my God, this has got me and Dave written all over it. I'm not throwing it, I haven't even told you about this, but it looks glorious. There's 6 episodes on the iPlayer at the moment, and I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. And just from what they did on Gogglebox, when they the people are watching it and manipulating it, I'm like, basically, it's like Love Island, basically, but it's not on every night for fucking the rest of the year, Dave. Let's get
Sold.
that right. Yeah. But there's 6 episodes currently on the iPlayer. I don't know how many more. It's only just started, but yeah, honestly, I was like, oh, this definitely has got my name written all over. So even if we don't cover it, I think me and Sam are going to watch it. But it was just, they were proper going at each other and there's no messing about, Dave. It was like, this guy comes in and they're all like, and he was a really good looking lad. And it's like, every one of them was like, oh, I'll take you around the villa. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking good, this. So yeah, so I'm just throwing it out there, Dave. That's one that, even if it's just me and you watching, we don't cover it. It looks like our sort of reality TV.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, I would be up for covering it if it meant, just the odd episode every now and then.
Because I did send you a message when I was away of the June the 5th launch of that show, Dave.
Next week, isn't it?
I know it is that show. I'm calling it that fucking show. But yeah, anyway. So it's called I Kissed the Boy, if anyone's interested, and it's on BBC iPlayer at the moment, 6 episodes. So I don't know how many there is or whether that's just the run of 6 episodes, but it looks like a bit more of a better version of Love Island from what I've seen off the little things on Gogglebox anyway.
Nice. I shall look it up and maybe watch the first episode.
You're going to virtual punch me down the fucking phone. I can see it now. Dick Dastardly, your hand's just going to come through the phone and grab me by the throat. So I do apologise, but I just thought, oh, that is fucking brilliant. Anyway, thank you for indulging me and everyone listening for my 15-minute rant about the Aegean View Accra Resort. Don't go there, guys. I've took one for the team, so you don't have to, okay? But because it's lovely in Greece, I'll give it that. So, massive thank you to everyone. If you want to email us, and you've had the same experience on holiday at this hotel, please email me and we'll set up a support group. You can go to our Facebook group, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. Massive thank you to Charlene as always. And like I say, it's me because I've been away, but we've had a bit of a mini break. So we are back now to do this and finish off Love is Blind. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, @cdrealitycast. If you want to support us a little bit more, please get over to patreon.com/cdrealitycast. So, Today's roll call of honour is a big thank you to Larissa, Helen, Alex, Macy, Nicola, Emma, Fiona, Cassie, Megan, Kate, Maggie, Kristen, Zoe, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Chloe, Noreen, Joanna, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Susan, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much for your support, guys. We really, really appreciate it.
Sorry, mate. I'm just looking at a quote here.
Oh, no.
It says, I Kiss the Boy is the carnage we deserve.
Yes.
I'm salivating for more mess, more men, and more Minogue. So I'm definitely going to check that out.
I thought you were going to say some quote like, sometimes just don't say anything, Chris. You know what I mean?
No, I like
Brilliant.
that.
All right, mate. Brilliant stuff. And thank you for indulging me again, as I said before. So it's been a good first one back, Dave, after a couple of weeks off.
Yeah, no, it's good, mate. So thank you very much. Thanks to all the listeners out there. Thanks to everyone who supports us. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.